much will it cost to LS swap your boat? How fast will it go? Those are two questions I keep getting over and over and over. So I'm gonna make this little video to go over it. I am gonna get a top speed run. The weather just has not been cooperating. This isn't a speedboat hole, so it's not gonna go no 80 miles an hour or nothing crazy like that. Still got the alpha drive, so we're limited on that. And this is a 5.3, so we're making maybe 300 horse-ish, something like that. All right, this is the subtotal for most of the exhaust stuff. This is part numbers here also. This is what I used. Quantities here. You can just scroll through this and pause it if you need to. Alright, that's all for the exhaust manifold side. 1400. I got these on sale on Summit right now. Actually, everywhere does. I don't know. I'd probably go by this price if you're looking at this video. About 500 bucks for the MSD. This is the intake I run. I hadn't had any issues out of this intake, so it's 160 bucks. And now, if you don't already have a carburetor, you can just buy a marine carburetor if you want to. But from what I understand, this is the only difference in a marine carburetor and, just your regular carburetor. These are the vents that go on top of the carburetor, on top of the floats. And that's just in case your float sticks open or something. It'll just dump all the fuel back into the engine instead of out into the boat. These are the fittings I used. I think I had, those are the 90s, the 1-inch ID. I had these. I'll go back and write the number of these down. Thermostat I used, 160 degrees. 1-inch heater hose. I got 25 foot because, I still had quite a bit left over, but it was cheaper to buy it that way. It's the heater hose bypass. These are the fittings that go on the manifolds and the risers. I think you'll need 4 of these. And then I used 2 of these on the bottom side of the manifold, just because they have the quick drains on them, so I could drain the manifolds of water if I needed to. This is for the thermostat opening, I believe, or the water pump outlet. I can't remember. I believe that's for the water pump outlet, and that's for the thermostat. Alright, here's the alternator. This is about the cheapest one I could find, and they're on sale right now. And that's the marine starter I used. This is the block off plate for the exhaust down in the hole if you're not going to run your exhaust through the prop. Now for the through hole, you're just going to have to use whatever you can fit on your hole if you're going to go through hole exhaust. If you're not, it's going to be complicated to hook your exhaust back up if you had an Alpha or probably even a Bravo outdrive, just because the way the exhaust is mounted different on those Crusader manifolds. It doesn't really line up, so it's just a lot easier for me to run through hole, which I'll show right now. On the exhaust, I just have it ran. There's a 90 there, a 90 there, and then I did run a muffler just to quieten it down, and then into some through hole tips. I got these used off eBay for, I think it's 100 bucks for both of them. All right, so that total come out to around 3,300. That don't include the price of the engine. I already had one. I already had actually a lot of that stuff. The MSD box, the intake, carburetor. Those are kind of expensive pieces. If you don't already have that, it would probably be cheaper to go fuel injection. I must say you could probably save $1,000 by doing fuel injection over having to get an intake, having to get a carburetor, having to get the MSD box. I mean, if you go fuel injection, you can just do the wiring harness. I think they're a little over $100 on eBay. And then you'll just need to unlock your PCM to tune it. Now, if you go fuel injection, you will need an O2 sensor. But they're hard to run with a wet exhaust. So you would really need to just speed density tune it. There are some people that get away with keeping an O2 sensor in there. They make little spacer plates you can Google for these Crusader manifolds.
that'll fit a O2 sensor in there. I didn't want to mess with all that. I already had all the carbureted stuff, so I went carbureted anyway, so it didn't really matter to me. But I just want to throw it out there. There's been a lot of questions about it, so there it is. Thanks for watching, y'all. God bless. This is going to come in from the Alpha, comes up to a T, splits off into the manifolds on both sides. It will then come up the risers, comes out here, goes over to the T here, comes down into the thermostat. Now I also have the bypass hose here, which I put this in the other video, but I still keep getting questions on it. This is to let water flow out the exhaust before the thermostat has time to open, because you don't want to run this completely dry. There's a 5/8 hose inside of this hose just to kind of, it keeps it from just blowing all the water through here. That way it'll still have, you know, adequate water flowing to the water pump to cool the engine, and that's been working really good. I have the adapter here, then it comes out through the engine, back up through here. Once the thermostat opens up, then it dumps all back out the T, or the fittings at the rear here. If you can see those, there's some on the back side also, right here. This is a 1.87 gear Alpha. I'm running a 24 pitch prop.